guys! Today I wanted to talk about something which has been on my mind for a while, and I should probably have scripted the video and researched the video, which I'm gonna do at some point, but then also I just wanted to film it today and talk about this with you because I think it's important, and I think I can somehow talk about it without being like ignorant or rude or offensive or anything. It's just not gonna be as informed and detailed as it could be. But then again, I encourage you to make your own research because it's not like I have all the knowledge and all the information. Far from it. I'm just like giving you like maybe little themes and ideas to explore yourself. I am currently reading a book that's amazing, and it's called Feminism and Nationalism in the Third World by Kumari Jayawardena. It's an amazing read. It's super interesting and it's also very eye-opening. You know, that kind of book when you're white and you're reading it, it makes you think, yeah. What I want to talk about today is progress and modernity and social and economical progress in like a way that's not necessarily the most, as I said, constructed and blah blah blah. But what I want to say basically, like the most important things are two sentences. Progress is not one and only, and progress is definitely not white. I think we live in a world where obviously things are presented in a way that we think society, civilization, progress, democracy, liberty, freedom, rights, that sort of things are white. They originate from Europe. They are mostly experienced by white people. They are defended by white people, and they're given to others by white people. That's kind of like a very basic view of how we are taught about history. It's not necessarily as, you know, straightforward, but that's definitely the underlying message, and that's why colonization happened. That's why globalization and uniformization of, you know, cultures and traditions, languages happened and are still happening nowadays. It's definitely not an easy subject. I remember different conversations I had with my great uncle who went to Algeria. When France didn't want to give Algeria their independence, they obviously had a war. They had a war, and my great uncle went there. He acknowledges how unfair it was and how they had no right to be there, and how Algerian people just wanted to be free and have their independence, which is completely normal. But he also very often frequently told me, you know, it was bad, it was not legitimate, it was unfair, but it also had some positive consequences. Those positive consequences are like the good points of colonization, like roads and hospitals and infrastructure and that sort of very material things. But they also sometimes come in the shape of more moral or like ethical arguments, like some practices in India that were banned because they were seen as awful or unethical by the British, for example. This happens all over the world in cases of colonization. People come and import their own ethics and their own morals, which we can sympathize and agree with. Obviously, I do agree with banning some practices and some traditions. I do think they don't, you know, they're not ethical, they're awful, they're terrible, they're devastating and blah blah blah. But I don't agree with banning them, like when you're a foreign power that's like oppressing, destroying, raping, attacking, stealing from people. It's a very complex issue then, because people will say colonization is bad, but it also had good consequences. Can you call good consequences things that happen out of force, out of violence, out of lack of democracy, and in the just the simple fact that those people were not home? And then we say it's in the name of progress, it's in the name of ethics, it's in the name of democracy, it's in the name of many different things, which is obviously a bit contradictory. Like, how do you want to defend democracy by being everything but a democracy? How do you want to defend ethics by being anything but ethical? I don't think you can also just say, oh, you were colonizing people, so everything you did was wrong, period. Like, Obviously, it's wrong to colonize people. Don't make me say what I haven't said, but it's just too much of a simple answer that presents too many flaws. And I think what we need to just really understand is that we don't have one and only way to progress, and that what we call progress at home is often very disappointing. Like, I don't think that capitalism is a progress. Yeah, that's what we try to put everywhere and install everywhere. And I also remember, when I was younger and I would have conversations with my parents or whatever, and we would watch the news and we would see how India, for example, or China were developing really fast and thus, polluting a lot and producing a lot of waste and this and that. I was like, we should tell them that's not the right way to do it. We've done this and we regret it now, and that's not the best way to do it. Like, that's the worst way to do it, actually. It's not gonna help them in the long run, blah blah blah. And my parents were like, yeah, of course, but we've done it, we had the right to do it, they have the right to do it, they want to progress as well, they want to reach the stage we're at right now. And I was like, yeah, sure, but still, that feels wrong. And I understand what my parents were saying. It's definitely true. Like, how can you forbid someone to do what you've done? So it's especially when you have the history of being the white colonizing power. But then again, isn't it a bit too simple? Isn't it a bit too Eurocentric? Isn't it a bit too pretentious to think that them, by doing so, are gonna, reach like a wonderful stage that we're at? Are we at a wonderful stage? Are we in a wonderful position? We are not. Like, are we perfect? Are our societies an example? I don't really think they are. Obviously, in some aspects, they're a lot better than some societies, but we still have a lot of work to do. So I don't think we should be taken as an example. We're just another society which has different struggles, different successes, different problematics and stuff. So I don't think we should be taken as an example, simply. And I don't think we should be taken as a role model. White, Western, societies are not the example. They're just another form of society right now. And they have to work and, just move towards what would be ideal, what would be better, what would be really about equality, about respect, about protecting, people who don't have work, people who don't have opportunities, people who are sick, people who are disabled and need some more protection financially and that kind of stuff. Let's talk about women, let's talk about queer people, let's talk about class, classes, they're a big issue. Capitalism is a big issue, blah, 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 blah. Corruption is a big issue, blah, 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 blah. So when we try to kind of like evaluate other countries based on how much they look like us and how much their societies and their structures and everything look like us, I think we're completely wrong. Like, that doesn't tell us if they're successful. It does not tell us if they're morally superior or ethically superior or more like modern, or if they have progressed more than us. It really doesn't tell us anything. It just tells us if they look like us. During colonization, for example, a lot of things were changed, a lot of things were banned. Some of them were not ethically wrong, some of them were actually good, but were not obviously in adequation with the Christian moral. They tried to change the way people had, lived for years, their relationship with nature, their relationship with animals. And this is not progress. It's just imposing your own way of doing things and seeing things. And I think nowadays it's really important that we wake up of this delusion that we are the progress. We are not the progress. White is not the progress. The Western world is not the progress. There are different ways to progress. Obviously, some countries have more issues, other countries have different issues. I'm not saying that everyone's the same and everyone is at the same stage, but I'm saying none of the country on earth right now could be taken as a model. None of the countries on earth right now are the mirror of progress. And therefore, we have to stop comparing other countries and thinking they don't have the same roots, they don't have the same traditions, they don't have the same schools and school rhythms, and they don't have the same everything, basically. Trying to find another version of what is like us. And we think, what's not like us is exotic, it's the third world, it's authentic, it's blah 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 blah. It's all fine as long as it's for holidays, and you don't have to delve into it. Then again, people are not authentic for you to just have a look and think, oh, that's nice. They're authentic because everyone is different, every country is different, every region is different, every culture is different, and those cultures come with different ways to see progress, with different struggles, different bases, different things they have to carry and protect or get rid of. And we can see that there's a variety of roads, there's a variety of things to change and things to achieve. It also applies to us because we have a lot of things we need to take care of. So basically, it was a bit of a messy video, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is progress is not us, it's not white, and there's not only one way to progress. And so I'm gonna leave some videos in the description box which kind of like touch on that, and I would highly appreciate your comments, your inputs, and your thoughts on this matter, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!